Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome to another video for EVE Online. In today's video, I want to talk to you all about the new Air Career Program and how you can use this to get started as a PvE combat pilot, also known as an enforcer in the game's parlance. Now, the new Air Career Program is something I've talked about previously in other videos as well. I did a video showcasing this and having sort of a brief look at it when it first launched, but today I want to focus on how you can use this to get started as a new combat pilot, to try out new things and experience everything that the game has to offer. I will, of course, do other videos as well in the future, looking at things like the industry and exploration branches as well, but for today we're going to be focusing just on that Enforcer branch. Now, I'm going to be showcasing this using a Tech 1 Gallente Federation Tristan, because this is one of my favourite ships. I think this is a really good ship. It's a really versatile ship that you can skill into very quickly, very early on, and it's going to help you do almost everything here. But of course, as you go through the beginner tutorials, through the career agents, you will get access to other ships as well that you might decide actually you prefer to fly those, and that's fine. You don't need to use this particular ship. Use whatever you are comfortable flying. Now, before we jump in, if you do enjoy this video, please, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit like on it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already for everything EVE Online, and I do have both a Patreon page and a Redbubble merchandise store that you can help support the channel if you really want to go that extra mile. Anyway, with all that said and done then, let's jump straight in. And first of all, let's actually familiarise ourselves with the Air Career Program. It's here on the left-hand side in your Neocom, usually towards the bottom by default. You'll find it's like a broken circle with 4 little dots in it, and that references the main menu here. So when you first load this, you'll see you've got the 4 different career paths. Enforcer in the top left is the one we're going to be focusing on. We will look at Explorer, Industrialist, and possibly Soldier of Fortune at some point in the future, but for today, Enforcer is where we're headed. Now, when you come into this career overview, you get a ring of different possibilities, and absolutely the first one you should be doing as a new pilot is right at the top here, Career Agent Missions. You see there are 10 of these in total that you can go for. Now, before we talk about how to do these, let's talk about why you should be aiming to do these individual things. Well, first of all, at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see that there is a career progress bar. This is currently the Enforcer career progress bar, and I'm at 275 career points out of a possible 750. If you reach the 750 career points as an Enforcer, you will also earn this crate, which gives you 100,000 skill points and 4 really cool looking skins, the Caracal, Rupture, Thorax, and Omen Aspirant Enforcer skins, and they are really cool skins, but those skill points are also really going to help you. And if we come right the way back out to the center again, you'll notice that by doing multiple of these, we can also earn some total career points. And here you'll see that at 1,500 career points, which is just where I am now, you earn about 75,000 skill points. At 750, there's another 50,000 skill point bonus. Once you eventually get all the way up here to 100,000 skill points, that's via 2,250, and you can earn an additional 125,000 skill points at full completion. So it's well worth doing all of these if you can to get those free skill points. Again though, let's just go into Enforcer and have a look at things. So first of all, Career Agent Missions. Now, what are the Career Agent Missions? Well, when you start the game, as you finish the brief first-time user experience, FTUE, the thing where you fly with air, you'll be dropped off in a new station, given a Corvette, and basically told, go for it. If you come back to your Neocom and go to the Agency, which is this sort of A-frame looking thing in the top, click on this, and then we head through to Agents and Missions and Career Agents. These are kind of like your beginner tutorials, and they cover all the basics of the game. If you go to Enforcer, you'll find that you can set destination for wherever this one is based. Now, ultimately, I've done these already on this character. It doesn't show up on the Air Career Progression because it was done before that system added, but every single Empire has 3 separate locations, and I will link the article in the description down below from EVE University, where you can see where the 3 systems are for your particular faction. So if you've started as Minmatar, for example, it's Hadao Gogo or Mbod, or I can never remember the third one, but there are 3 of them that you can go to. I've done 2 of them. I'm going to come back here and do these ones at Hadao Gogo. in order to get those later on. So you just set destination, fly there, speak to that agent, and follow their guidelines, and they will give you a 10 mission course. And as an enforcer, that will also give you access to a load of really powerful ships, really powerful early on, that is. A lot of frigates, and if you come down and then do the Soldier of Fortune ones after, yes, I know that's not directly related to this one, there are some other ships you'll get there, and that does end with you getting a destroyer, which can be really, really useful. So I strongly recommend going through the 10 enforcer missions, followed by the 10 Soldier of Fortune ones. Now that will complete this ring here in the career agent missions. It will also actually do the Soldier of Fortune ones as well. They've got a ring for the agent missions there. That will give you some career points. Admittedly, those career points are going to be towards this particular crate. Again, 100,000 skill points, a Phantasm, Orthrus, Stratios, and Cinnabal, but we'll talk about those at some point in the future. It's mainly the fact of you just want to get those missions done for the rewards directly in-game. And of course, it will help fill up this bar as well and bring you towards that 50, 75, 100, and 125,000 additional skill points. So that's where you're going to start. I strongly recommend getting those done first, just so that you have all of the ships available. You get a good amount of ISK, some modules to get you started, and basically it will teach you the ropes as a combat pilot. From there, the others will start to fill up over time. For example, if we start moving our way around, once you've done the career agent missions, you can look at doing security agent missions. Now, I don't tend to do many of these myself. Again, I'll go through these so that I get the skins and the skill points later, but if we come back to the agency and go to mission agents on the left-hand side, you can then go to security agents here, and these are found all over the place. You can see I've come here to this particular station. I intend to do some of these. This is in Heck I'm based at the moment to do these. I can here start the conversation with the guy, and he will give me a load of missions that I can do. I've done a video on this where I showcase some of these in a Thrasher, so I'm not going to do this for this particular video. I will accept it because I'm going to do it in a moment after I've finished recording this, but that will now give me a mission that I can go and complete. Once I've completed it, I come back, I hand it in, and I keep doing that. Now, that will help fill up this one here of doing the security agent missions. You've got 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20 level 1 security agent missions. If you're happy to grind those out, you'll earn a whole ton of ISK, some other awards on the side as well, and get yourself just some good understanding of the game mechanics and how things work. And these are all level 1 security agent missions, so they are really easy to do, and that destroyer that you'll have gotten from doing those opening career agent missions will be absolutely invaluable and more than enough that you'll need to go through those. So you can do these comfortably in the Thrasher, Coercer, Cormorant, or Catalyst, whichever you have. Of course, if you have another ship that you would prefer to use, that will still work. I'm going to be using the Tristan for these because I really enjoy this ship. I'm skilled heavily into drones. It works really nicely for me, and if I decide that actually I want to do it faster, I might even go and grab my Worm from Thera, fly that out, and have some fun with it. The second thing is Abyssal Deadspaces. This is a bit more of a complex one. Of course, you've got the enter a tier 0 Abyssal Deadspace, complete a tier 0, complete 5 of them, and then kill 30 Triglavian enemies. Now, you can see I've done 2 of these already, but I haven't got any Triglavian enemies. That's a little bit grindy to get that one, but if, like me, you really enjoy Abyssal Deadspaces, that's a great way to make ISK, it's a great way to have some fun, and you will eventually get those Triglavian enemies in there, like Kikimora, Damavik, stuff like that. If you're not sure what a Triglavian enemy is, well, we can come to our ship tree, again, found on the left here in the Neocom, open that up, and when it loads, come to the Triglavian Collective on the left-hand side here. Any of these ships here that you destroy will count towards that. So if you are in one of those Abyssal Deadspaces and you spot a Damavik, or something like a Nergal, or a Kikimora, those will count towards it, and they will appear eventually. They're not in every single run, but they will be there eventually. And it's interesting to know that when you're doing these two here, Security Agent and Abyssal Deadspace, you will also be filling up the combat wheel. This one here is just to destroy 100, 150, 200, 250, and 300 enemy ships, and you'll see these stack. So once you've done the first 100, it's only 50 more to get to the next one, and so on and so forth. You only need to destroy a total of 300 ships to complete these. It's not like you do this one, then it resets. Nice and easy, and that will just fill up over time. No need to go out of your way way to try this one. Just keep running security missions and Abyssal Deadspaces until you've finished those wheels. Again, you might decide that you don't want to go for this final wheel if you don't enjoy the Abyssal Deadspaces. What's wrong with you? But ultimately, you will start to fill those up just by doing Security Agent and Abyssal Deadspaces. The same then goes, we're going to skip over bounties for the moment and come to combat sites. If you are going into combat sites, which are the various different things you'll find in your overview when you're undocked, you can use Alt and P to open up the scanner, Shift and P to open up the scanner, and it'll bring you, no, it is Alt and P. Alt and P to open up the scanner, and in the top right, you'll be able to find some combat sites that you can jump into. Again, I will link the Eve University article explaining what is in those different sites so you don't jump into something too ridiculously difficult. And you can complete those combat sites. Again, I've done 3 of these so far. Not only does that allow me to actually, start filling these up, again, that will start completing those combat wheels. Also, the bounties as well then come from this. So this will be earning bounties via Concord just for killing pirates. And that will fill up over time as well by killing other enemies. So again, don't stress too much on bounties or combat. Those will come as you're doing Security Agent, Abyssal Deadspace, and combat sites. We're going to skip over Epic Arc for the moment because this is quite a tricky one. But then we have Market and Standings. Now, Market is a really easy one to fill. Spend a certain amount of ISK on the market. Spend 1 million ISK on the market is not a difficult thing to do. I lost a Tristan in an Abyssal Deadspace. I will have a video for that as well because it's quite a funny little run. I lost a Tristan. By time I had purchased everything back from that, I was nearly at 1 million ISK anyway, and it was just easy to grab a couple of other bits and pieces on the market just to top that up. Not necessarily, again, don't aim for this, don't just sit there and open up the market and buy random stuff, but you'll get that over time. 1 million ISK is not much to spend on the market, especially if you've been following my video on Abyssal Deadspaces. You can be earning 50 million ISK an hour easily through doing those. Finally then on the wheel here, for the ones I want to talk about nice and easy, we have Standings. Standings, again, is not one that you aim to complete. This will just happen over time by doing these security agent missions. As you do security agent missions, you will increase your standing, your reputation, basically, with whoever you're doing it for. For me, obviously, I'm going to be doing for, the Republic fleet, so it will be Minmatar standings that will be increasing. Once those hit certain levels, you unlock those new abilities around the wheel. Nice and easy, and it's not always just, an unlock. You get a little bit of ISK, you get 30 career points or however many career points to fill this blue bar up, and some of these do come with other items as well, like a connections skill book in this one. I think most of these are just basic ones there. One social skill book as well. Some of them, I think it's the career agent missions once you start getting around. Here we are, like an air enforcer expert system. There are some that give you ship crates and stuff as well, so you get free ships by doing some of this. It's just finding the actual ones as we go around. A lot of them are just career points and ISK, but it's a great little way of getting a little bit of extra money. Here we are, this one I know, for example, has Tranquil Abyssal filament crate, so I got a load of free filaments for completing a tier 0 Abyssal Deadspace, so I could run some more of those. Now, the two that I haven't covered are loyalty points. These, again, are just done by basically completing other bits and pieces. You'll earn these as you're doing other missions. I find it weird, though. Something seems to have bugged out here. I got the 50, 100, 250, and 500, but for some reason... it's because I've got to spend. There we are. I need to spend a minimum of 300 loyalty points in order to get that one. So you just open up the loyalty point store, spend what you want to there on some cool new stuff, and that will unlock and finish that one. Finally is the Epic Arc. Now, the Epic Arc missions, you do have one of these available straight off. You will unlock them as well as you increase standings with a particular faction. The one that you have straight off, if you open up the agency, is actually to go into Epic Arcs here, and there should be the Sisters of Eve one available to start off fairly early. I do recommend you get a bit of combat experience under your belt before going for an Epic Arc. Definitely at least do those tutorials because you will want a decent spread of ships. Definitely the destroyer can be a really useful one for this, or a ship that you're pretty heavily skilled into. So like for me, the Tristan could probably pull this off. The Worm absolutely will pull it off, no questions asked. And you can have some fun going through these missions. Really cool storyline to this as well. Well worth doing. As you can see, I haven't actually even done this on this particular character, but I know the story arc pretty well, and that is well worth doing. Ultimately, those are what are going to get you through all of this, and it's surprisingly quick and easy. Just doing those career agent missions as well will do some of those combat and bounties, and you'll learn the ropes, get some really cool ships, and this just fills up over time. A lot of it is just, the only stuff you really have to focus on is, right, let's do the career agent missions, let's do some security agent missions, let's do some Abyssal Deadspaces, some combat sites, and some epic arcs. So there are basically 5 things that you need to focus on doing, and you can take that at your own pace, and it will gradually fill up. You'll earn career points, you'll earn the additional rewards, whether it's ISK or some skill books or crates that have other rewards in, and eventually you will earn that really cool crate at the end there for awesome skins at 100,000 skill points. And that will also fill you up nicely towards this. You'll have 750 skill points, so you'll also get that additional 50,000 there. So you'll actually earn 150,000 skill points just for completing all of the Enforcer stuff. And then if we go back into Explorer and the others later, you'll fill this up further and further. You'll see I haven't actually completed 2 of these, but what I've done with Industrialist and Enforcer on top of Explorer has pushed me over here. Anyway folks, that's about it for today's video. Just wanted to showcase how you can use that to get a head start in the game and learn what's going on with your particular ships. You'll be able to get a good understanding of how combat in EVE Online works via the career agent missions, getting you started, getting you some cool ships. Then by doing the Enforcer agent missions, you'll be sort of cementing that to the point that you then can try some of the Abyssal Deadspaces, see how you feel about those, and if you enjoy them, that's another playstyle you can try. Same with the combats, the combat sites, going out and actually looking for those combat sites in your overview, flying into those and maybe getting escalations and things like that. It's a great little system that sort of teases you to try new things by giving you a carrot on a stick to say, hey, try this, and give you some really cool rewards just for giving it a go. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on all this in the comment section down below. If you've got a ship you think is particularly useful for all of this, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Otherwise, please do check out my video on Abyssal Deadspaces and on ratting in a Thrasher, just to give a brief explanation on both Abyssal Deadspaces and the Enforcer agency missions. Hopefully, that gives you a really cool head start. Thanks for listening right the way through to the end, folks. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden!